We're over in the r/2x chromosome subreddit with a post that's 5 months old by REGZM. I am trying so incredibly hard to avoid falling down the rabbit hole of misandry. Men are so insistent that sexism and misogyny are not as widespread as they are. The more I interact with, the more my gut is telling me that they really are all the same. Yes, I know, not all men. My experience is not the universal one. I have bias. I should give more men a shot, etc., etc. But unfortunately, when you start seeing sexism, you can't stop. It is everywhere. I am confident when I say that the majority of experiences I and any woman in my life have had with males, as friends, peers, or romantic partners, are majorly negative. They seem to constantly sexualize, belittle, infantilize, and disrespect women. God forbid a woman behave like a man, have sexual needs like a man, or ask something emotionally fulfilling of a male partner or friend. We are deemed irrational, hysterical, needy, naggy. The amount of women who seemingly parent their adult male partners is alarming. With the far right push in the media lately, I'm not surprised. But it feels like every damn day news comes out about one of the good ones being a predator or a creep. Or I find something about a male in local circles and it just reinforced the gut feeling that has been emphasized from past experiences. I'm so sick of men viewing women as fleshlights and maids and mommies. We are people. We are no more irrational or hysterical, emotional than any given man. I am so sick of how men regard women as a whole, and it is only getting worse. How can I convince myself it's not all men when every man seems dead set on proving me wrong? Excuse me, I had to belch. I don't know if I have an answer to that question because I am not perfect. Me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago was a worse form of who I am today. And I plan the version of me being 5 years now to be better than what I am, especially as I continue to walk down this path, being so privileged as I am in life. To continue to gain knowledge. I find the things that I've done and the things that other people do abhorrent, and I try to continuously better myself, right? The thoughts that I have, the things that I engage with, the topics, the subjects, everything on social media, I try to learn more and engage with things that are better and not engage with misogyny that, of course, hurts women. But it's truly hard for me to point to a man and be like, he does not hate women in some form or fashion. On a scale of 1 to me, hey, I'm Mr. Always on 10. I think people are always going to be floating at a 1 at a minimum. There is no 0, right? Even though I started the scale at 1. 2, right? Because I'm the shit. There are, especially as we move forward in time, we are, and I know I'm sliding a little bit, we are allowed to care about things that seem less important than the issues that we've tackled in the past. This country is incredibly privileged to be years separated from slavery, years separated from segregation, years separated from a lack of pure equality at a congressional level. But every part of that, of those issues that we faced, are ingrained in society. And as we move on fighting these issues, tackling these issues, the little crumbs stay left behind, but we are allowed to focus on these smaller issues that have built up that may not seem as big as hey, stealing people, and I can only speak so much because this will be going on every platform. Breeding individuals like animals, treating them like animals, and forcing them historically down. Oh my God. My apologies. I'm trying to make it PG, but it's impossible. We have solved issues. We are now privileged enough to solve the issues that are not as big, but these are still difficult tasks that must be tackled. And I do not have the answer for you specifically if I'm replying solely to you. REGZM. I can just say try to educate those around you that you care about, those who you do not push away because they are abhorrent people. Continuously check those who say stupid things, ignorant things, hateful things, and show them why they're wrong. Fight them on it. Empathize, come to them at an empathetic level. Do use whatever method you can. And if it's just not working and you're just too tired of the fight, leave those people alone. Leave them in the dust. You will find better people. You will surround yourself with better people as you become a better person. Those people will be left alone to themselves, and they will exist as a part of the loneliness epidemic, and they will pass away alone or just become better. And then they'll find friends who are better, right? Everyone's not on the same level. Let's read through some of these comments. I feel like I'm all over the place with what I'm talking about. And so the top comment with 2.1K upvotes, 2,100. We got hella comments on this post. Quote, so much talk about misandry. You think women enslaved men and rid them of their voting rights, kept them as maids, kept them as sexual slaves, exchanged them for political and economic favors, still have countries where men have to don clothing covering them from head to toe with no education rights, no working rights, no voting rights, not even talking rights. Like, what misandry? That's a comment on the internet. Scroll on. End quote. I'm not sure what sub I found this on, but so true. And that's what it is. Again, America, the United States of America, not specifically the northern or southern continent. People have fought really, really, really hard to advance and rid this country of its systemic issues, even though, like I said, crumbs, bits and pieces, parts are still left over and affect us to this day. But you have to fight just like your ancestors fought, your family fought, all those people that you would never learn about in textbooks fought, right? Because you know who owns McGraw Hill. And if you don't, you can Google it. Even though Google is giving money over to the administration. There are a bunch of comments that I want to read, and some of these words will get my podcast flagged. they will slow down my monetization, but I don't give a fuck. But women gatekeep sex, so men are oppressed. They're so oppressed. Ash Elise B commented at that. And everybody's commenting underneath this. Ah, yes, sex. The only love language men have. You can run yourself ragged, keeping the house and raising the kids and doing everything. But if you don't fuck your husband, then you clearly don't love him. It was just sex. It meant nothing when he cheats on you. Sex is my love language. It is a prerequisite for deeper connections when he wants it from you. Yo, these comments are spitting. Oh, Desmond Tapinade. I can't read. Comments obligatory. Quote, not all men, but far, far too fucking many of them. End quote. The term uh, coercive assault. I can't say that word. Assault. It's a 4-letter word. I can't say that word. Assault. So 4-letter word. Replace it. The term coercive assault was not widely used until I was in my late 20s. And let's be real, it's still not, but it should be. And when I first heard it, that was a thunderclap moment because I realized that's exactly what went down in past relationships. In case anyone needs to hear it, if you have sex with your partner because you don't want to upset them, slash, you feel like you have to earn your keep or whatever, slash, they're unhappy because you don't want to put out, that's not consent. That's coercion. Please be good to yourselves. Now, there is a comment here that leads to another comment, and then that brings me over to several pieces of information. So let's get to it. They feel oppressed right now for some reason, and it caused a lot of young men to vote for Trump this past election because of it. Women start to become more equal and gain better rights, and men want to blow the world up for it. They feel emasculated for it. I hate it. They're disgusting. And Juggernaut Existing 97 replies to one of y'all farted. I agree completely, but I'd be remiss if I did not also add that I strongly feel that this is a blowback from Obama, as well as the fact that a black woman was also running this last time. See how that works? They'll elect a black man, and there's backlash. But a black woman, they would never. Shout out Obeezy, the best president during my lifetime and probably your lifetime too. Right? You roll it back. Who we got? Who do we have? Dementia Donnie, Sleepy. That's such a terrible name. The tan suit in chief is fantastic. Just Google how many different presidents have had tan suits and worn them. Right? Everybody. Then we got then we got the oil man, right? I'm just coming up with nicknames right now because my brain is fried. And before that, we got that one guy who's on the list, whose wife also ran for president. It sucks that we didn't get her because we wouldn't be here right now. We would not be here right now. We never vote for women. As a matter of fact, here's a fun fact. I didn't vote for her either. I thought it was a given that she win. And after that, I was like, oh, I gotta vote for everything now. I was a preteen and a teenager when Obama won. I couldn't vote for him. So the first time I could have voted for president for Hillary, I didn't. Because I did not think that they would vote for the grab him by the pussy guy. I did not think that. And then motherfuckers did it 3 more times. Yeah, so don't think of it as a right that you have. Think of it as an absolute must that you always vote for the president, for your senators, your congressmen, for your governor, for your mayor, and every single little itty bitty local election beneath that, because it's the people that you don't know, whose faces that you don't see when you try to Google them when they're on the ballot sheet. Those are the ones who are going over to your electrical company and saying, hey, we got this sweetheart deal from Anthropic or OpenAI or Palin. Ooh, I can't say their name. I get put on the list, right? XAI or Google, right? They going behind the scenes and sucking all the electricity out of the power grid and raising your prices up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. Imagine your electricity bill being double. Vote, votes, votes, votes. Oh. And due to these comments, we're going to head over to various different websites and we're going to pull up some stats. We got the total members of the House and Senate representation, which was last updated January 3rd this year. Since the U.S. Congress convened on March 4th, 1789, 12,591 individuals have served as representatives, senators, or in both capacities. There have been 10,573 members who served only as representatives, 1,329 members who served only in the Senate, and 689 members with service in both chambers. The total number of representatives, including individuals serving in both bodies, equals out to 11,262. That's how you know I need some sleep. And this doesn't include all those representatives from all those islands that are colonies, Puerto Rico, Philippines, all those different places. And with that, we can look at some more information, right? As of March 2025, we have broken records for the number of women serving in legislature. 26 women senators, 129 women representatives, 155 total serving. Whew, the most ever. And one session of Congress is 119th Congress. My brain just had a fart. We're going to slide over. With this information, we can see that 28% of all members of Congress in the 118th Congress was where we were at. The highest percentage in U.S. history, where it's continuing to grow. Even more so than a decade ago, which is like crazy. You compare 2017 numbers to 1997 numbers, you get an immediate drop from the 120s all the way down to, good Lord, the 60s to the 80s. Oh my God. Hold on, let me see. 100. Nope, I'm off a little bit. My fault. 110s. My apologies. And yes. You can go by each session of Congress and see the percentage, right? So counting both the House of Representatives and the Senate, women account for 153 of 540 non-voting members of Congress. That represents a 59% increase from 96 women who were serving in the 112th Congress a decade ago, though it remains far below women's share of the overall U.S. population. A record 128 women are serving in a newly elected House, accounting for 29% of the chamber's total. In the Senate, women hold 25 of 100 seats, tying the record for the number they held in the 116th Congress, right? So this is looking at the previous session of Congress. This is over Pew Research. I'm dying here. My apologies. The talking does that to me. There we go. So with that, you can see that we don't have enough women representation. And to further that information, we're sliding over again. Why do I have this page open? That is interesting. Why do I have this open? Is it with a purpose? Oh, there we go. Women have been in Congress for more than a century. The first Montana Republican Jeanette Racken was elected to the House in 1916, 2 years after her state was given the 2 years after her state gave women the vote. But women only began serving in more substantial numbers in the past few decades. More than two-thirds of the women ever elected to House, 261 of 381, including the incoming members of the 118th Congress, have been elected in 1992 or later. The pattern is similar in the Senate. 43 of 59 women who ever served in the Senate, including the one new female senator, took office in 1992 or later. I was born 3 years afterwards, right? So we can see that when we broke barriers, or our grandparents did, however old you are, surely Chris Holm became the first black woman elected to Congress, but that was 1968. Right. It was 1992 where Carol Mosley Braun became the first black woman elected to Senate, right, to the Senate. And when you look at these numbers statistically over the history of the country, you come up with, let me see, did the math, which you really don't even have to do, truly. We see women making up congressional seats, actual power in this country, amounting to 3% of all the people elected. 250 years of history in this country, and women have only made up 3% of everything that goes along with the makeup of this country, as far as top-down leadership, real power. And it becomes even worse. You look at Obese, one of 46 presidents that makes up the only black president, being 2% of this country's history. Women make up zero. You look even further for black women who have been elected and who have served, 0.5%. 0.5%. Women make up 3% of everyone who's ever been elected. Black women make up 0.5%. It's insanity. It's just sad. From the first United States Congress in 1789 through the 119th Congress in 2024, 198 African Americans served in Congress. Meanwhile, the total number of individuals who have served in Congress over that period is 12,585 between 1789 and 2024. 186 have served in the House of Representatives, 14 have served in the Senate, and 2 have served in both chambers. Voting members have totaled 193, while 5 others served as delegates. Party membership has been 135 Democrats and 31 Republicans, 31 coons, while 13 members founded the Congressional Black Caucus in 1971 during the 92nd Congress. In the 119th Congress from 2025 to 2027, 62 served, with all of them being Democrats. Total seats are 535 plus 6 delegates. We have so little representation. Women, African American women, so little representation. And we have been here the entire time. Truly equals to everyone participating in this country. And so little real representation and power. So when we look at these issues that are systemically held in this country, and the current issues that are being exasperated, that are being, that are just being ramped up. I can't think of the word. I'm so sorry. Ramped up through social media, through these billionaires, through these people who are all on the list. We can see it is because They did their very best to keep us from power. If we held power, things would be better. Things have gotten better since we have had women in office. Things have been better since we have had African American men and women in office. This is the reality of the world. When you have representation from all groups and issues get pushed forward, people start caring. It takes being shown an issue and being educated and having emotional intelligence where the needle gets moved. Moving on.